is. Folks, what you're about to hear is that some medical consultants in Ireland are getting paid twice. So it's rather obvious that there's management somewhere not keeping their eye on the ball. Hospital consultants were paid twice to treat 7,000 of their own public patients. High-earning hospital consultants have been paid on the double for treating more than 7,000 of their own public patients. It has been revealed as new questions arise over how money is spent tackling Ireland's waiting lists. These doctors were earning public salaries worth up to 300,000 a year and received a top-up fee in additional clinics in their own hospitals or in private hospitals. The top-up fee, the value of which has not been disclosed, was paid through money given to public hospitals by the state-bankrolled National Treatment Purchase Fund. The public body was set up to get those facing longest delays off waiting lists. But who funds the National Treatment Purchase Fund? The same people that fund everything else, and that's the country's taxpayers. Consultants received the extra payments over the course of 4.5 years. The National Treatment Purchase Fund was given €230 million by the state this year to pay for treatments for the longest waiting public patients. These treatments must be carried out as additional in-house work or in a private facility in order to be eligible for funding. The money for extra in-house treatment is given to the hospital in question, which is then responsible for who carries it out. Figures given show that last year the highest number of patients, which were over 1,573, were treated by their own doctor under top-up National Treatment Purchase Fund funding. Public patients were also treated by their own consultations in private hospitals. Since 2020, 219 public patients have ended up being cared for by their own doctor through outsourcing paid for by the National Treatment Purchase Fund, which the information obtained revealed. In response to the department's figures, said the treatment of patients by their own referring consultant under the top-up funding is not the preferred option. Patients are normally treated in an additional clinic by another consultant. However, in the case of some specialised procedures, there may be only a limited number of consultants available. A patient may also have a complex medical condition, and it may be in their best interest to be treated by a consultant familiar with their case. Of course it is, folks, that's only common sense. Commenting on the figures, it's clear that despite safeguards to stop doctors who request treatment then carrying it out under the scheme, permissions has seemingly been given in a whim allowing just that. There are now doctors operating in the HSE who will effectively have been paid twice by the taxpayer to carry out work to reduce waiting times, which is not only outrageous, it's bound to raise eyebrows when auditors look at how public money was being spent. But they should have been on the ball from day one and keeping an eye on it, folks. The eye was obviously taken off the ball. Earlier this year it emerged that the National Treatment Purchase Fund temporarily paused funding for additional in-house clinics in Children's Health Ireland and Beaumont Hospital over an incorrect use of funding. HSE audits are underway at each hospital and funding has now been restored. In the case of Beaumont Hospital, €25,000 in national treatment purchase funding was claimed for rheumatology services that were not additional, but were carried out during routine day work already paid for by the HSE. This led to the National Treatment Purchase Fund conducting a review during May and June of hospitals it funded for extra work. This review covered 38 public hospitals that had applied and received approval to undertake National Treatment Purchase funded insourcing initiatives. Each hospital was formally requested to confirm that all insourcing activity had been delivered in accordance with the signed Memorandum of Understanding and the National Treatment Purchase Fund's governance procedure. There were 3 hospitals with breaches of the Memorandum of Understanding. Number 1, Naas General Hospital. Number 2, University Hospital Kerry. Number 3, St Michael's Hospital in Dún Laoghaire. A report by the National Treatment Purchase Fund found that these hospitals paid consultants all the funding to carry out the additional work, even though it should have been spread among nurses and administrative staff. It also found that in Naas General Hospital, the work that was funded by the National Treatment Purchase Fund was not performed outside of normal hours. The public body was recently asked by the Public Accounts Committee if it has sought to recoup the money from the 3 hospitals involved and how much the misused funding amounted to. Asked what progress has been made in this regard, a spokesman for the National Treatment Purchase Fund said 3 public hospitals made disclosure during the National Treatment Purchase Fund's recent insourcing assurance review. HSE internal audit is undertaking a review in Naas General Hospital and the National Treatment Purchase Fund awaits its outcome. The National Treatment Purchase Fund continues to liaise with the other 2 hospitals. The public body has had its funding for 2026 cut by €30 million, but will still have 200 million of your taxpayers' money to fund extra treatments. The aim now is to make hospitals more productive with the money they have. But folks, is there any wonder medical consultants are getting paid twice? Everybody else is fleecing the system. Your public representatives has been doing it for decades. Look at the earnings they are on per year, and for predominantly talking pure bullshit to a vulnerable, gullible public. So, if everybody else is fleecing the taxpayers, sure, medical consultants has jumped on board that ship too, and they have decided to fleece the taxpayers. No doubt about it, guys. We're an extremely quiet, inactive, silent population. I would imagine that Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, thinks at this stage, after governing since 1933, that they are of the opinion that they are a permanent fixture. But of course, it's up to every Irish citizen to make sure that opinion of theirs changes. But what else would they think if they have survived as Ireland's government from 1933 to 2025 without ever being challenged on their legality? Leave that with you guys. Enjoy your day. Stay safe and healthy.